Alright guys, we're gonna have to go through this quick because we have shenanigans starting already. So today we have Moonrai versus Ranged, gonna be a best of 5. Same thing as with God, who just played? I'm drawing a blank right now. Sterling and Dragon. So it's gonna be best of 5. First map was Radion, and after this, loser's gonna pick the map, and it's the entire map pool. Okay, so this is gonna be a center single gate, not actually sorry, Wolfix. It's going to be just a center forward gate. It's not actually going to be a 9-9, so we're not all-inning or anything like that with range, but we're definitely looking for some early game pressure. A little bit of history between these two. Just kind of recently, they've been playing some. Moonrai has actually taken some games off ranged, and I feel like this was a good opportunity for range to kind of get those wins back and a little bit more of a kind of a show match setting where it means a bit more, so... Range will definitely pull out his best builds, and it looks like we're deciding one of our best builds is center and 9 gate. Going to be a standard opener so far for Moonrai. It's going to be a good SimCity form as well, so the Zealot's going to have a little bit of a hard time getting some damage done. Behind that we got our gas started for ranged, which is expected, so we're going to see probably 2 Zealot. It's going to be 2 Zealot Goon. It could be a 3rd Zealot, but I think we're going to be getting 2 Zealot. We'll kind of see, but he's definitely going to be looking to put on the pressure here. Factory coming down, a pretty okay timing. It was like 232, something like that. Maybe a little bit slow, but on left side mining, it's completely acceptable. And I wouldn't even call it bad anyway. But Zealot going to come up here. Moonrai's going to see, and he's going to pull back. Now the question is Moonrai going to overreact? Are we going to see... bunker, anything like that, or is he just going to try and hold it? So first Marine actually goes down pretty much for free. Looks like the couple tags there from the probe, very well calculated from range, made it where that Marine was just 2 hits away. Another good shot on that Marine. The only thing is he's not delaying the factory timing, so it is 4 SCVs pulled off, so we're not mining a whole lot as Moonrai at the moment. Second Zealot coming now, but the factory is going to be able to finish up and the Vulture is going to get started, so it's going to put a pretty quick timer on this. Goon's going to be very far away, so there will be a pretty big window where the Vulture can get a lot of damage done to these Zealots. Sorry, I know I kind of said this last time. I might be coughing and clearing my throat a lot. My voice still hasn't recovered from the last one. I was actually just about to go take a nap, and they were like, "Hey, you guys want to play right now?" So it is happening now. Moonrai is going to get supply blocked for a long time here, though. We don't have a depot started. One of the Zealots did go down. Vulture's out now, going to chase this away. Dragoon's going to come up here and help. Now, these Zealots are very weak, so with the Zealot, Dragoon... Oh, and even getting a Zealot shot on this Vulture is pretty big. Actually has the potential to clean this up with how soft a lot of these Marines are. Yeah, 2 Marines going to go down quickly, but actually not good enough, but does get the Vulture kill, so that's really good for ranged. Probably clicking the weak... Yep. Range paying a lot of attention, checking the health on the Marines. It gets an extra Marine pick off there as well. Moonrai sees the gateway here in the center, and Range going to start his Nexus. Is going to be a little bit behind, but overall it's pretty good trading for Range. Killing those 2 Zealots, killed a lot of Marines, killed the Vulture. Not really many SCVs went down, but definitely disrupted Moonrai a pretty good bit. And we'll see how it plays out from here. Obviously this center gateway is going to be vulnerable in the future. If there's any kind of like early push out or something like that. But I would say overall, like slightly ranged favored, maybe. The CC timing, like I said, did come down before the Nexus, so that's obviously pretty good for the Terran. But he did end up trading out a lot of units, so I think the probe count is very far ahead for range. I mean, we see like pretty good saturation here. It's a little bit light for Moonrai, so definitely a, what is this, probably like a 4 to 5 worker lead, something like that, so... Even though the CC is a little bit faster, the probe count, like I said, a little bit further ahead. So, yeah, I think slightly ranged favored, or at least even. Good micro there, getting that re-volley on that tank. A little bit hard, though, to find the angle. This top-down angle is very, very difficult for Protoss, and yeah, I'm going to focus on that weak Dragoon. Unfortunately, it was the one taking the Marine shot, stepped a little bit too far forward. And yeah, this is the hardest angle to get shots on the bunker without getting hit. It's very, very picky about where your Dragoons are standing. Second tank coming out, and we are continuing to pump Marine, so we are 100% going for an early game push here. So hopefully range doesn't take too much damage on these Dragoons. I mean, we're getting shelled a little bit more, and I'm starting to get pretty worried now. We got another Dragoon getting very low. And I think with the third tank and all these extra Marines, we're going to see basically all of this get pulled. And behind this, we have just the single gateway in the middle, second gateway about to finish. And it's going to get pretty dicey for range here, I believe. Okay, we're not bringing any SCVs with it, which is kind of surprising. I actually would have thought we'd bring some SCVs for repair, if nothing else. Here, range sees the move out coming. He's going to try to possibly chip away at these Marines, but as it stands right now, we wanted to get a pretty good bit of distance here. Maybe use the gateway even to kind of mess with the AI a little bit of the units, but Moonrai quick to react. Gets a nice couple hits on that goon. Very, very low now. Gonna target down this pylon, so no more goons gonna be coming out of this gateway. Probably have a reverb building, and it's gonna be vultures behind us for Moonrai. 5 goons, 2 of which are extremely low against these 3 tanks. And what is this, 6 Marines? Range is kind of leading him around a little bit, dancing around, making him run, waste a little bit of time so he can get his Reaver out. But these 2 vultures look like they're going to head straight for the main. Gonna jump on top of this one pick and kill it just for 1 goon, so it's a good start. For range, very good trade. But these mines getting planted now are going to make it very difficult for the Dragoons to chase this army. Hey, what's up, Shield Battery? Yeah, what's up, Tabs? Gonna get the full wall here for ranged. I think this is full walled. Gonna try to open this up. Okay, we're gonna come down and buy a little bit more time. Reaver actually still hasn't come out yet. We ended up going shuttle first, and yeah, this is not gonna be a full wall anymore. Goons looking to go for a counterattack, walk into mines, losing a bunch of those goons, and I think this is actually gonna do it for Moonrai. There's just nothing here. Reaver is still not out yet, I believe. Yeah, and range is gonna go ahead and call it GG, so game 1 is gonna go to Moonrai. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit less talking, because I can feel my voice is about to go already. I still, like I said, I hadn't recovered from yesterday, and I was actually talking a lot today. So my voice was already gone before we started. Little bit more backstory here on the players. Ranged is actually like a high A, low S player. He quite often takes games off of S rank players and can get into S himself, so he is a very strong player. He's not as active as he would like to be. He still plays as much as he can, but just recently he just hasn't had the time to play as much as, you know, he used to be able to. He used to be able to grind a lot and be a very, very strong player. But that being said, he is still quite strong. I mean, we saw him take 4 games in a row off of Artosis just yesterday. So he is a good player for sure. Moonrai just a little bit difficult to deal with. Sometimes he can do some crazy stuff. So yeah, sorry. The casting will be a little bit lighter on this one today. So I do apologize for that. Okay, things looking pretty normal so far. Moonrise Barracks is in a very interesting position, though. I'm wondering where he's planning on putting his factory. The barracks like this can be very hard to protect the factory with your Marines. It's a pretty interesting SimCity from Moonrai, to say the least. And according to supplies, yeah, I was gonna say it looks like we did open Zealot. Range does like to open that Zealot in this matchup quite often. factory coming down for Moonrai. And you kind of see what I mean. Like this factory is like very exposed out here, a bit away from the barracks, and there's no actual sim city for the Marines even. Hope you guys don't mind a little bit of a silence, a little bit. Just gonna preserve my voice as much as I can. This was unexpected. I was literally about to go sleep a little bit when they asked to play. Alright, first Zella gonna arrive here. Does have 3 Marines out, even made a 4th Marine Vulture starting and made the extra depot. So you end up doing this. This just allows them to be able to kind of control the high ground. Yeah, looks like it was 2 Zealots again. Gonna get the eBay block. Pull a few probes. Gonna try and bully that SCV off of his natural. But we're the 2 Zealots and the Dragoon here. It's a lot of damage on these Zealots already, though. Pretty good pullback there from Moonrai. Does lose the Vulture pretty much right away. And these Marines are going to actually be able to chase this Dragoon back, so pretty good for Moonrai. And definitely some micro mistakes there. Took a lot of damage on this goon without firing. The CC should be able to start way ahead of this this Nexus now. Moonrai actually continued to chase with these Marines, which is a little bit crazy. Very risky. Luckily for him, ranged wasn't finished yet. I say luckily. I guess it couldn't really be finished yet. But gonna get this eBay cancel. I think cancel. Wasn't actually looking, so minerals are a little bit low. He may have actually died. But ranged not even going for the Nexus. And I've actually spoke about this before. Whenever you block the Protoss Nexus like that for a long time, you need to keep in mind that you are kind of forcing them to do something. Like that money's going into something because they can't make that Nexus. And Moonrai very smartly does actually start his eBay. I think that's a really good call. Because a lot of times when you delay that Nexus, it means they're either going robo, right? They could be doing like a proxy Nexus, but you just have to keep in mind that that money did go somewhere. They're not sitting there floating 700 minerals, you know what I mean? Bet I guess it's a Zerg influenced triple threat SimCity using the workers as a SimCity. I guess, something like that, yeah. Now, something Ranged has been doing is he will go this DT and just use it defensively to take a quick third. So we'll see if that's what he wants to go for this time. Moonrai is definitely set up to deflect any DT play. Hopefully Ranged, if he's paying attention, we'll see this first mine and be able to pull back pretty quickly. Realizing that this is no longer safe. Unfortunately, we did not react quite quick enough, but we do actually survive because we're moving, but he's actually going to commit. That's a mistake, so the DT is going to go down now. Gotta remember, if you get hit by 2 mines, there's a 3rd mine somewhere. And I don't think he even saw the turret, potentially. So this follow-up DT not even going to be able to get anything done either. But this one may just be used, like I was saying before, for kind of controlling the space. Going up to 4 gateway now on 2 base. It's pretty interesting. Not sure what Range is thinking right now. I mean, he's so far behind on economy. Third factory started, gonna be the 4th factory starting here soon, it looks like. There it is. Our +1 is on the way from Moonrai. Just gonna scan the front and see like kind of how much army we can find, but looks like we just call like the tail end of some goons moving out. Trying to see if you can find any additional tech. So it's gonna be this 4-gate robo into this 3rd base, it looks like. Trying to catch the probe coming out, but the probe actually isn't coming out, so he's just leading those vultures. Gonna get the full wall here. Very good from Range to make sure these vultures don't get inside. Unfortunately, Moonrai forgot to send his vultures all the way back, so it just bleeds off a few vultures for free. And now this probe gonna be able to get down here and take this 3rd base. So supply actually surprisingly looking really good for Ranged at the moment. Moonrai going up to a 6-fact. He has been cutting workers, as Moonrai does. So it's going to be a 6-fact push from Moonrai. He is going to be on 6 factories versus currently just the 4 gateways of Ranged. I'm a little bit worried for Ranged in the sense that he won't be able to get much value out of this Nexus before the push comes. Scans down here and confirms the 3rd Nexus has been started. These 2 vultures with basically 0 HP. Might actually be a little bit annoying if they get to stay down here undetected. Okay, Range did notice, so good for Range, because that could have been a serious pain if you go for that transfer and there's these 2 1 HP vultures. Alright, cleans up the Marines there, loses 1 goon for it. Another goon goes down for free. DT gonna be very annoying and pick off 1 tank. Yeah, we have a bit of a goon flank set up as well. Observer gonna be monitoring the movement here. So Range gonna be able to fight him on this high ground, and then he can kind of go backwards, a little bit slow, and he's actually gonna go forward. Getting flanked by the mines, doesn't really have a choice. And all these goons gonna get called, and this is actually going very, very poorly for Ranged. A bunch of goons go down just for a handful of vultures. And what was looking bad for Range is looking worse and worse. Is at least cleaning up a lot of the vultures. Gonna get another one of these tanks before backing up. So pretty decent movement there for Ranged. And unfortunately one of the goons' pathing does get messed up. We are now to kind of our final high ground that we can take a stance on. Does have a lot of Zealot, even High Templar coming out. Gonna see these siege tanks siege up on this side and start chipping away at these gateways. One of the annoying, we'll say, features of this map. Nice mind drag though. Wow, that killed basically everything. Very good movement from Ranged. He basically dropped it just in range to pull the mine and move the Zealots inside of the army. And that mind drag actually might be enough to win this game for Range now. That could not have gone better. Gonna barely not get the full wall here though, so 1 vulture gonna get inside, but we do have the Zealots here to run in now. We still don't have legs, but yeah, great fight for Ranged. It was looking pretty dicey, but that mind drag was absolutely perfect. Gonna scan ahead and see what kind of value you can give these vultures. Is gonna pick off one of the High Templar, the other one's gonna get picked up in the shuttle. And the vulture's gonna back up now. We have no 3rd CC in sight for our boy Moonrai. But we are getting a drop ship. Gonna drop into this expansion down here most likely. Ooh, at least that would be my guess, but we also sent these vultures down here to kind of pull the army to defend it. I mean, vultures getting as much value as they can. Just trying to be very, very annoying. Moonrai trying to see if he can claw his way back into this game. Did it go science facility, so going for that +2. Good mine hit on all of those dragoons there. Tank count is a bit low. We're at 5 tanks right now for this push and a whole lot of vultures, 6 tank coming out from the natural. But we got all these storms on the high ground. We got shuttles with Templar in it. A lot of zealots down here. We got our defensive cannon set up, so a drop can't really do anything anymore. Even getting this kind of random proxy cannon, maybe for a 4th base. Moonrai once again gonna siege up on this high ground, chipping away at the gateways, but a lot of gateways up now for range, still sitting on the 6th stacked. Great storms on top of all those vultures and cleaning that up. And this push gonna get deflected once again. That being said, I mean, it kind of holds. There's enough left over from range to easily finish this off. Had a little bit of tough luck with the drop there. His Templar came out before the Zealots initially, so didn't get as many storms off as he would have wanted. But ranged up, 30 supply. Gonna drop on top of this tank and finish it off with some Zealots. Gonna lose the shuttle for it, but always a perfectly fine trade. Gonna feed him Observer too, because why not? And Moonrai gonna Moonrai. We're just gonna keep on pushing until we win or lose. Oh! Yeah, the dropship does get picked off, so it doesn't get to drop into the main. Unfortunate for Moonrai. Is going to kill some probes here, and should trade pretty decently against the goons because of this tiny choke, but we do have these extra shuttles coming in, some more probes going down to the transfer. Gonna storm on top of these tanks and clean this up. Range gaining more and more supply, now up about 50 supply. Yeah, Moonrai's having good army movement, I think. The way he's like trying to pull them back and forth is smart, but we just don't have enough steam. Moonrai deciding, you know what? My 6-fact +2, not working. I think I want to play a macro game. Gonna throw down that command center, try and play it out from here. A single tank finding this expansion down here, sending down vultures to reinforce so it can't even be killed by the probes. I mean, Moonrai just being as annoying as possible, killing so many probes. Getting the entire probe line except for this one single probe. So, great trade there from Moonrai. Especially if he let these vultures get away, but a lot of them do get picked off, unfortunately. Thanks, Jiffy, for the follow. Appreciate you. And the double expand coming out from Moonrai. A true Protoss player wearing Terran's skin. Attack, 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 and double expand. Sorry, I did kind of miss this drop. It looks like he maybe dropped some Storm with the Zealots as well. Looks like it would clean up a lot of the tanks, but he's going to deflect that for now. Triple Stargate Arbiter +1 coming down for ranged.
Jiffy Mix just subscribed.
Yo, Jiffy, thanks for the sub. Appreciate you. We're gonna have emotes soon next year. You can feel it coming. A lot of damage taken from these mines. No observer here with the army. Big shuttle drop on top of all these tanks. Going to clean this up and then have the units come in behind it. What do you have? We got 2 more storms left here on the high ground. We're going to perfectly bunch all of our SCVs to make sure that one storm kills literally everything. That way we can save one storm for the army. And that was actually really crucial for range because it was unironically starting to get a little bit scary looking. Kieran was getting up to 4 base. He's almost got his +3 attack upgrade. And ranged also just on 4 base himself and lost a lot of probes. And looks like we have carriers on the way. I don't know that he started an Arbiter. I wasn't really paying attention to it, so we'll see what ends up coming out of there. But it's probably 3 carriers. Could be 1 Arbiter, 2 carriers. But I'd imagine it's 3 carriers. That will be my guess. Moonrise main and natural mining out. Same for range, so it's going to be 2 base versus 2 base economy. I'd really like to see range try to get 1 more base potentially. That being said, his supply is up by 60 at the moment. And he is going to have a nice tech coming out. 3 generations of family. Yeah. Looks like we're loading up for a storm drop potentially for this base here. And we got range getting the bases down here. Gonna try and get this natural and main base. Shuttle gonna get deflected. This hero zealot tanks like 14 mines and then is like, hey, I'll take care of the turret too, don't worry. But does get cleaned up, does get deflected, no storm drop gonna happen there. And did our shuttle die? Oh, I think our shuttle died. Must have died to the Goliath. I think we just scanned the carriers and went ahead and called GG. So range gonna tie the series up 1-1. Sorry about that. It's impossible for me to go inside without being asked to do something. And of course, it actually matters. It looks like we went for 12 Nexus Forge, but it actually got rushed before we got the cannon up, so it's gonna be a tough situation for ranged. There is only 1 Marine here per DPS right now. Cannon coming up does kill a lot of the SCVs here at the moment. Cannon gonna finish, and I actually think range is completely fine here. This is gonna get deflected. Gotta be careful not to lose any probes here. That being said, it's going to be a very long time before we are able to get goons to break this bunker. I mean, our core just now started. Man, I really hate that. I almost said no to when they told me to do something. I was like, kind of in the middle of something. So I do apologize for missing the opening, but I think we got the general idea of what just happened here. I should have right-clicked the name before I left. That's actually bad by me. I go 3 zealots and walk past. I actually like this because just waiting for goon range is going to take far too long. I would have even really liked the probe to come out with that so we could expand possibly out somewhere. Gonna unload and go up the ramp, which there's a cannon here. But yeah, I guess 2 Marines are going to get in. That's pretty annoying for range. Going to lose a probe. Second probe's going to go down. Yeah, I mean, that was Good enough for Moonrai. Actually, is it? No, I don't think that's worth it. Because if range notices, he can just walk down there and expand now. I actually don't like that from Moonrai. I don't know if it's gonna like click for range though that that's the case now. But there is an empty bunker down here. But these zealots getting a lot of damage. I mean, we're gonna clean up all these marines, and we're going possibly Reaver directly behind us. And factory, okay, factory did start here in the top left corner. This marine 1 HP. And yeah, so range did notice he's gonna walk down here and start killing this bunker, so I really like that. Support bay on the way. Now the one thing is, I don't think range knows there's a factory building up here at the moment. I don't know if the zealots got close enough to see it. It's not gonna change what range is doing regardless, but not sure if he saw it. I kind of wasn't paying attention how close he got. Range is actually very far ahead. Like, extremely far ahead. There is a chance that this Reaper just ends the game. Ugh, boy. Boy, oh boy. What's up, Kevin? Okay, first Reaver shot gonna get 2 probes, it looks like, or 2 SCVs. Kind of messing up our shooting a little bit there with the Reaver. Gets a good shot on that tank there and softens it up. Next tank getting targeted down by these zealots and gonna go down. We have 1 tank that's just a tap away from dead. Reaver's gonna pop out and finish it off. Luckily for Moonrai, another tank does come out, but I mean the CC still hasn't started. Our Nexus is almost done here for range. We are kind of going for this 2-fact. I assume we're going for a push, but I mean if you're going for a 2-fact push and you got Reavers in your base. Oh, we actually walked the Marines back into the tank as well, so it took a big shot. Gonna survive with 2 HP. I cannot believe that Reaver got that shot off. 2 goons gonna come up here and start chipping away at some of the units, finishes off those Marines, but we do have an additional tank out. Next tank should be finishing relatively soon. So gonna try and jump on top of this tank, but not gonna be able to kill it. Way to optimize potentially was to pick those Dragoons back up. Or at least leave the shuttle there to save them when things got a bit dicey. But for Moonrai, I mean, we have 2 tanks and I think 0 Marines. I'm pretty sure that bunker is empty. And I don't see... I don't see a push working anymore. But Moonrai gonna go for it. All those SCVs gonna get picked off. Good target firing from range to make sure these shots are going off. These 2 tanks gonna show up. SCV is gonna come across the map, and Moonrai gonna see if he can work any magic with whatever little scraps of units he can get. But we have 2 Reavers coming out. Moonrai, or Range finding that perfect spot for the Goon to sit. Targeting the weak tank. Range doing a great job of just keeping an eye on like the HP of units. And Moonrai gonna GG out. Range gonna take that 2-1 lead. Alright guys, hopping into game 4. Range with the 2-1 lead over Moonrai at the moment. Potential game point here for Ranged. Map of choice for Moonrai was Deja Vu. We have got to play both Radion and Polyploid. Those are two of Moonrai's most comfortable maps. Deja Vu, definitely pretty Terran favored in general, but these spawn locations, not too bad for Protoss. It does allow them to kind of take the third away from Terran. So that is a little bit nice for Protoss, at least. Does mitigate some of the map advantage that Terran can often get on this map. So we'll see if Range wants to keep doing what he's doing. He's been doing these kind of aggressive Zealot openers pretty much every single game. Seems to really favor the 2 Zealot into Dragoon opener. That being said, I guess the last game, which I did kind of miss, it looks like we went for 12 Nexus Forge, and Moonrai went for like an extremely early SCV pull. We had 1 Marine with it. And yeah, sorry, I didn't quite get to see it, but it looked like we got there before the cannon could have got up. So it turned into a bit of a weird game. And Range came out on top. Great value from that Reaver. Definitely helped him win the game. But did come out with I would say a decent advantage after the dust kind of settled from the early rushes. I'm gonna get a 229 factory, pretty good for Moonrai. Definitely favoring the Marine production over the SCVs, which makes a lot of sense because Range has been so aggressive with the Zealots these games. That being said, I think we skipped the Zealot this time. See if we start ranged or if we want to go for... Okay, there it is. So it is going to be ranged, so it should be a 23 Nexus. I mean, it still could be a 21 Nexus. I guess. But I'm expecting this is going to be a 23. And Moonrai going for the 2 fact. Now, the next important thing is Range going to go for the 3rd Goon before Nexus? Well, yeah, it's a little bit important because you'll end up with an extra Goon if you don't go Probe. Range dared to cheese them is so true. A little bit late on that additional pylon. And we did actually go for that 3rd Dragoon. Now, we'll see if Range can identify that there is no CC here. Does see 4 Marines, which is already a little bit suspicious. You don't normally make 4 Marines here. It's not necessary. So we'll see if there's any alarm bells going. We see the Robo facility come down, so I don't think it really occurred to him that there's like a little bit something odd. With the 1 gate Robo, it is still obviously holdable, but it gets a bit more difficult if we don't quickly get that 2nd gateway down. And knowing Range, he's going to try to go for a Reaver. I don't know, so I actually don't know if Reaver comes out in time if you go straight to Reaver. Vulture annoyingly get inside, gonna kill 1 probe, potentially 2. Yeah, 2nd probe does go down. 4 goons out. Looks like that tank just barely didn't step into view. Now, with 4 goons on the high ground, you can 2-volley tanks, which could actually just shut this down completely. We'll see kind of how it goes. He's actually going to step forward, and he's going to catch 1 tank, realize, oh wait, there's no CC here, and there's 3 tanks. I'm getting pushed. Loses 1 goon, which is actually really, really bad for him. And range actually might be in a ton of trouble here. Second gateway is on the way. We have Observer, so no Reaver going to be coming out. And yeah, range actually might just be dead here. We'll see how well he can micro this, but I mean, it's 4 tanks versus 4 goons at the moment. Gonna be Vulture Rally behind this, actually making a 5th tank even, which is interesting. So, lots of tanks gonna be coming out. Shield battery on the way, support bay almost done, but this is gonna be an extremely difficult hold for range. Yeah, we actually just have siege mode here. This is pretty much a nightmare for range. So he's going to abandon this. I actually don't hate it, especially with the SimCity blocking, and he just doesn't have the goon count to fight this. So he's going to abandon this Nexus and basically hope for the Reaver counter to get a lot done. We're going to get another weird game, guys. There's going to be a pretty big supply block for range. And he sees the shuttle loading up there. We have a hidden Nexus here for ranged. I really, really like it. Basically, he's going to look to get damage done with this Reaver and buy some time. We have turrets have started. Vulture's going to come back and start trying to lay some defensive mines. Trying to rebuild some gateways here in the top of our base. I just don't know that he's going to be able to stop all these units to begin with. Reaver, actually great mine positioning from Moonrai. That being said, we're actually going to manage to get through it and unload in his base. So Moonrai now not going to be mining anymore. First Scarab is going to dud and actually fail to even kill that SCV, but just this sitting here is enough damage. I mean, this is basically Moonrai has no economy anymore. The range is going to try and slowly scrap this out, save as many units as he can, trade as best as he can. Oh my god. Well, there goes all the mining from Moonrai. Units going to come up here and kind of get picked off, so all the Vulture's going to go down. There's just 5 tanks, but there's not a lot of units here for ranged either, obviously. I don't know. Okay, Reaver going to die inside the shuttle. I think Moonrai wins. I think. I don't think range can kill these units. Oh, he even had some backup SCVs, okay. Man, losing that Reaver is so bad by range. If he just, like, comes home with it, like, imagine he brings it to defend up here, right? I actually think he can win, but with that Reaver going down, I don't think he's ever able to kill this army now. Buying as much time as he can, but I mean, he's actually not even ahead on economy. Imagine we get to transfer these 5 probes to the top left, like that would actually be huge. Man, losing that shuttle is so painful for ranged. Moonrai scouting around now, being like, hey, why aren't you leaving the game? He flew into a turret that he knew was there. So I don't know. I don't know how it happens. Alright, probably gonna go for the bus here with these units. if he can somehow clear this army, which it might be doable. It's 4 tanks. The Vulture and Marines are leaving now because they're going to this top base, and as he's leaving, Range is going to go for this bust. No? He's backing back up. But he should know, yeah, he knows he's on a timer. Units are going for his top left base. Man, I feel like Range missed an opportunity to clear all these tanks. Okay, gonna get 1 tank basically for free. Second tank gonna die for free. But he's gonna lose his mining. He won't be able to mine anymore after this. Might be able to get enough to rebuild his Nexus. That looks like that's what we're going to go for. These tanks are going to come home. I mean, it's easy to look at this in Observer and say Range should have, like, done, like, gateways and stuff to wall here. So that he could save that base. But, yeah. I mean, it's so hard to think of things like that while you're playing. I think Moonrai wins. This is crazy. What a crazy game. Range gonna go for the kill, which is pretty much all he can try to do at this point. I mean, there's a lot of tanks here. I don't think there's any way that we're breaking this as ranged. We got mines and tanks. It's too much. Yeah, Range realizing he can't break this anymore. Gonna try and go back to mining, but I mean, there's no way to recover from here anymore. It's just too far behind. Maybe, like I said, if instead of dropping this Nexus, right, if we can like wall it and get our units here to save it, I actually think it's still very playable, but like I said, easy for me as the observer to see that and be like, hey, do this. You know, unfortunately for Range, not quite making the correct calls here, and this is gonna be down to 5 probes. Moonrai happily on, what is this, 7 mining minerals. Moon hitting him with the question mark, as Moon does. Because you know Moon, that guy never stays too long in a game. No, he does not reach S rank. He's never been S rank. Moonrai knows how to win games. He doesn't know how to win games consistently. GG is called, and the series is tied up 2-2. Alright guys, once again it seems like we've done some pretty good matchmaking so far. Once again, here we are in Game 5 in our best of 5. In the final map for this series is going to be Menstrual. Menstrual is a difficult map for a lot of Terran players. Because you're just going to get that gas steal. We'll see how Moonrai wants to deal with this. I know with Sterling, when he played it, he actually did like a 10-10-10 or something like this and got like a full wall. We'll see if Moonrai wants to go for the full wall as well. We are making that depot there, so it looks like we are going for it. We'll see if we can get the barracks up in time, though, for the probe. Looks like, when are you gonna make it, man? Does actually get it, but wait, we did not wall correctly. So we went for this quick wall, and we're actually not gonna get it put up correctly, unfortunately. So Moonrai gonna cancel. We're gonna go for a 10-10-10, or 10-10 rather, 10 barracks, 10 gas. I mean, he's gonna get the gas, but this actually hurts his economy quite a bit. I think this is still Zealot tight, right? But it's just not Probe tight. I'm pretty sure a Zealot cannot fit through here still. Yeah, that ramp is fully wallable. It's what Sterling did to Moonrai when they played. Yeah, additional depot even gonna come down. I mean, this is... He's worried about the Zealot coming through. So we're gonna throw down that additional depot, and this is just painful. And maybe this... Am I wrong? A Zealot can still go through here, no? I'm pretty sure we went for this super fast. Yeah, second depot, and it's still not even Zealot tight. And our probe even killed an SCV. But range not even going for the Zealot, not realizing that this was a failed wall. And probe is gonna get picked off. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was saying, Bo5. They didn't even realize that both of them realized, or neither one of them realized that the SimCity was actually failed. So luckily for Moonrai, no Zealot coming, because I literally just would have been game ending. To be fair, I also was wrong, so I can't harp on it too much. Like, I was like, oh, maybe this is still Zealot tight with the depot here, but yeah, obviously not. So I guess I am equally stupid. Moonrai did cut a lot to get that really fast depot. We're actually making another depot, like super early. I don't know if this is like a reflex depot. Like, I get that he wants to go for a push. This is still very early for that depot. The replay is broken. There is no range started yet. Okay, now it's starting. We'll see what kind of damage the goons can get done, what kind of information they can find out to see if he can identify that there is a push coming. But range did recognize Moonrai's opening was extremely inefficient, so he did go for this greedy fast nexus. We'll see if he wants to cut any corners going to his robo or not. He has been kind of favoring fast robos and not so much early game units. Gonna see the 3 Marines here and get shoot off. Did bring this 1 Dragoon back. I'm worried that maybe there's a Vulture coming, but there is no Vulture. It's just gonna be an FD, kind of. It's gonna be 7 Marines with a tank. Looks like he kind of wanted to sneak in there for the information to see if there was maybe a bunker. But we're pulling 5 SCVs with this. We got 5 SCVs, 7 Marines, right? 7 and 1 tank. So this is pretty much all in from Moonrai. Range is going to see it coming right about now. So he can start chipping away at this. Needs to maybe group up his goons as fast as he can and start chipping away at some of these units. The tank did get left behind, so there's a big window for range to get a lot of damage done. Although he doesn't have goon range yet, so that's why he's not chipping away. Shield battery coming down. Vulture is being rallied. It's going to come down to this. We did make the second gateway a bit earlier. Keep an eye on goon range finishing up. Gonna start chipping away at these SCVs. Shield battery done. Ranged is done. Gonna try and jump on top of this tank. Good pullback. First Dragoon gonna go down. These SCVs gonna get the body block potentially, but the goons are actually gonna slip inside, getting to their shield battery. Probe's gonna get pulled now with it. Mine's coming down in front of the units here. Good pull back from range. The big thing is, are we going to take any mine hits or not? Tank not firing quite a bit. Got to be very careful that we're not walking into this mine. He's actually going to just keep pumping goons in, wait for an observer. I really like that. He cleaned up a lot of the SCVs, cleaned up a lot of the Marines. We don't want to risk going into this. Just let the gateway die. We're not in a hurry. Let's wait for our observer. I think this is very, very smart from ranged. Yeah, and here comes the Observer with all these goons now. Tank gonna move up and try to bait them into the mines, but the Observer is here. Tank just one hit away is gonna try and potentially run away, but actually gonna turn back around and fight. Vulture's trying to get inside. One Vulture gonna slip through. It's gonna need to work a lot of magic. Good micro from range. Very, very clean movement from that Dragoon. That being said, the Vulture's still gonna get inside and kill a few. Ranged. Getting him back for that question mark he gave him earlier. Range never afraid to fire back. Moonrai, GG, ranged wins 3-2. Another crazy close series. Moonrai upset their ranged, dare to BM him after Moonrai hit him with a question mark the game before. That all pretty much checks out. It all adds up.